Alright, so this is particularly the third session in the series of Python, and into this, uh, keeping up a recall. So we have done the module 1 part, into which we have talked about what are the basics of programming, what is introduction, what are the tools required, what are the different languages, and all that. Okay, and we talked about basics of installation and pip, virtual environment, loading packages, installing packages, how to install, manage package, and all that. Then into the second module, we talked about the basics of IDE. We particularly use Jupyter as an IDE to showcase you that okay, this thing something exists for the beginners, but moreover we stick to the core of the Python and the command prompt. So basic notepad file with .py extension and Python shell in the command prompt. Then we talked about input output, comments, indentation, variables, typecasting, operators, data type, and all that stuff. Now today we'll be going to basically talk about the logic building stuff, and we'll be starting it with conditions and loops. So these are the basic two things, and these are not just the basic thing, these are the two major things when it comes to programming into any language. So conditional statements and looping statements are the things which makes the logic for your program to be executed. Indentation is pending, that is the part of conditions and loop. We'll be talking about indentation and all that other stuff right there. Yeah, so still if you'll be having any doubt into module 1, 2 and 3, you can ask me. Indentation is something we'll be covering under conditions and looping. Now giving you an introduction of conditions and looping, what does a condition mean? So basically if you are comfortable with flowchart, all of you must have seen a kind of flowchart or have imagined a kind of flowchart. So it looks something like this, that we will take an input. Okay, that input will go all the way to some processor where a condition would be executed. Right. So this condition can give different kind of results. So suppose if the output is yes and if the output is no. So if it is yes, suppose print 5. If it is no, print 3. Just a random example. Okay, this could be very critical, like taking an input and telling if it is passed, then do some other stuff like promote it into the next class and make all the programming logic for that. Okay, promote this person, give them a grade, issue them a certificate, give them the title, and involve that person into the graduation ceremony or so. And if that person is failed, okay, so issue him or her a kind of punishment. Do not promote, okay, and or hold the degree. Do not invite into graduation ceremony and all that stuff. So whatever you can do with whatever you think like can be done with the logical conditions in your mind can also be done programmatically into Python, and that is what we'll be going to learn today. Okay. Another thing would be looping. So when the time for looping will come, we'll be talking about looping then. So I'll be again heading to my desktop, making a file right here. Okay, and the name of the file I'll be taking it to be what's conditions or simply flow control. That's P1. Might be I made it into desktop. Fine, so heading on to desktop now. I have something like flow control. Fine. Now this is just a normal file, nothing to do about conditions yet. I just print something like yes. It will give me the output. Sorry. Yeah, it gave me yes. Fine. So this file is working. That's what the particular process. Now we basically do the import stuff with either a calculated value coming out from some or the other way of calculation, or we do it with a kind of input, user given input. We never go for conditions so easily for the static values part, but for the learning we will be taking it as a static value part. So I declare a variable with the value with the name m. Is that font visible to you on the left side, the widescreen font program I'm writing, or should I turn it into a different text editor and zoom it up a bit? Is that visible to you? What I'm writing is m is equals to 150, something like that. It is not visible? Fine. I'll just open that in VS Code. I'll zoom that up for you. Okay, fine. I hope it is visible now on the left. Okay, so what I have written is m is equals to 150. Now, what do I mean by m is equals to 150? That's just a simple variable with the value to be 150. Now, in order to write a condition, how can I read this particular thing? So this condition is suppose C. So I'll read something like if C is equals to yes, then do something, else do something. Similarly, right here I'll be writing if m is greater than 100 colon, this is the syntax. So you write your condition, this particular thing is condition. Okay, then you place a colon. So colon means that this particular line is also associated with some sort of body. This is not just a single individual line, this is a block. And then I will write a kind of indentation, 4 spaces basically. This is what indentation means, just 4 spaces. Okay, and it should be 4. It can be 2 and it can be 8 as well, but the standard of using indentation in Python is 4. Why to use indentation, that I'll come up. So I said if m is equals to 100, if m is greater than 100, print the value is big, or simply in the shorting term, big value. Okay, and then what I'll print? Program ends here. Fair enough, I'm just writing this. Okay, or simply program ends here. Yeah, let's take it fine. So this is what I'm going to print. So the logic says that if my m value would be greater than 100, then it will print big value, and then it will print program ends here. The question is to Sanjay that what will be the output on console if I run this file now?
Yeah, 1 minute. It is true.
Sorry?
True.
It's true. No. What will be the output in the screen if I'll run this file, python3 flowcontrol.py, and this is flowcontrol.py?
It will print big value.
It'll print big value, and will it print program ends here as well?
No.
No. Okay, what about you, Saurav? What about you, Saurav?
बिग वैल्यू आ जाएगा अपना रिजल्ट
Big value. Okay, no program ends here. Fine. What about you, Tanvi? So please put it on mute. There is some noise at the back. Please put it on mute. What about you, Tanvi? What will be the output?
Its end here also, it will print the big value and ends the program.
Okay, it will print big value and then it will not give any output and it will end the program. So program ends here. This line will not be printed. Okay. So let's see. Basically, it will print both the lines. Something wrong right here. Yeah. So it is printing both the lines, big value and program ends here. The reason behind that is, firstly, it is taking an if condition, comparing it with it is greater than 100 or not, the m value is greater than 100 or not, and it will print the value. Now, this particular indentation states that this line is a part of if condition. Okay, if I'll make one line right here ahead, so print.
व्हाट इज इंडेंटेशन सर
I'll come to this again inside it. What is indentation? That indentation is simply nothing. Maybe it was just an issue at my side. Your voice is not audible to me. Okay. Try reconnecting into the call. Might be it will work, but I hope it is audible clearly to others. What is indentation? Sort of indentation is that indentation basically states that this line, these two lines are not individual lines. These two lines are the part of their superior most block. So this is their immediate superior block, if block. Okay. So these two lines are the part of if condition, and this line print program ends here. This line is not a part of anything. This is on the root hierarchy. Okay, might be tree command will work here. No, it is not. It's not installed in my system. So, but what happens with the tree command, I can show you on the graph that, do anyone of you MacBook? Do anyone of you have Apple laptop or desktop or MacBook, any version of MacBook? This is not what I was looking for. Something like this, or simply putting, something like this. So it'll give you complete hierarchy. If I'll open that, is open. So on the root of your this folder, Rahul MacBook Pro Deep Learning for Sentiment Analysis admin tree, on the root there are these 6-7 folders: CNN, IMDb, ISCIR, LSTM, README, Report, by LSTM, data. Inside data there are few files. Okay, so these were also files, not folders. So data is the folder. Inside data there are few files like Jan 9 2012, ISCAR.csv, polar data 1, and text emotion, and a folder which is named as RT polarity data. So inside RT polarity, again it is having RT polarity dot negative, RT polarity dot positive. So it is saying two directories, okay, first directory and second directory, and the rest of them are 13 files. This is what the basic tree command into a Mac OS gives you the output. Even it gives you the same output into Ubuntu as well, your complete file structure. If you are on Windows, you can directly check the left side tree of your Windows C users. That's tree I'm talking about. So what is the basic meaning of indentation right here? That this whole stuff belongs to data, and right here these two lines belong to RT, and text doesn't belong to RT. Text is parallel to RT on the same level, and text, RT, polar 1, ISER, Gen 9, these whole things belongs to data. Similarly, we'll be maintaining the hierarchy right here, that these two lines are the part of if block, and this line is individual and has nothing to do with condition. And if your if block would be executed or not, it has nothing to do with this line. This line will be executed no matter what, if your program is reaching it. Okay, and the program will not enter this one and this one if your value would be lesser than 100. I'll show you right here. Suppose I'll go for some 80. Your value is not less than 100. It will not give you big value, not give you inside if. It will simply say program ends here, right, like this. Okay, now what if I will just swap the case, program ends here on the top, and if m is equals to greater than this, and right like this. Okay, so now whatever would be my value, firstly it will give program ends here. Then if the value would be greater than 100, it will give all the other two values as well. If the value would be less than 100, it will give me only program ends here, and the things will be stopped. Okay, so now it is giving program ends here, then big value, then inside if. What if I'll place this program ends here inside the if? Now the only thing is either of the case would be executed at once. All the three lines would be printed, or the second case would be that none of the line would be printed. Okay, so if I'll execute this command, it will give me all the three lines. If my value is less than 100, it will give me none of the lines. Right. Now what if I just make a line out of indentation, the first line or the second line out of indentation? Now this will raise an error. The reason is we are saying a colon, and then we are saying that this line is a kind of block command, and there is no a kind of value for the block. See, it will say indentation expected something, indentation error expected an indented block. So big value, print big value into this line. It is expecting an indentation. We need to give the indentation, and then it will work fine. Okay, my value is 80 earlier. Let's take it 800, and it will give you the output. Fine. The counterpart of if turns out to be, now what I want to do is I want to make a program. So this m is nothing different than a mark. Okay, so I'll say if marks, let me just turn it to marks, or simply percentage. Okay, so obviously percentage would not be 880. So if percent is greater than 40, then print student pass Now what I want to do is, in the last of every program, I will be printing something. I want to print something, result declared. Okay, and depending on whether the student is passed or failed, I want to print one line, student pass or student fail. For that, I need to use elif. Okay, not simply elif, simply else right here, not elif. Print. I'll tell you what it is. Student fail. So what will be going to happen? If your condition will turn true, then it will return student pass, and then at the last result declared. It will not head into this one. So either of them would be executed, either if or else. So if and else are completely counter to each other. So if the percent greater than 40 block, pass block will be executed, then fail block will not be executed. If fail block will be executed, then pass block will not be executed. So one of the line will come up all the time, and then at last student declared line, which is a neutral one. It has nothing to do with your marks. So student passed, result declared. If I turn it to 30, less than 40 simply, then we'll go for student failed, result declared. The question is to you, Sanjay, what will be the output right now?
Because both are same, no? It's a 40-40 only. It is not greater than, it is equal to 40.
Yeah, so what will be the
So,
output on command prompt?
it will declare, it will not declare pass or fail. It just declare, result is declared, that's it. If I'm not wrong.
Okay, no, that's actually wrong. See, the condition is percentage is greater than 40.
Yes.
Now, if percentage would be greater than 40, then student pass will be printed. If it is not greater than 40, less than 40, equals to 40, or whatever else in the entire world, it will print student fail. Now, it is not greater than 40. That is simply enough to declare the student as a fail one. So it says student fail, result declared. Alright. If I would have given right here greater than equals to 40, now this student is actually passed. Now what does this mean? That suppose you want to open a private limited firm, then you need to have 1 lakh or more rupee in your account to start the share distribution among different directors. That means 99,999 rupee is not a valid amount. 1 lakh is a valid amount, and greater than 1 lakh is also a valid amount. So one of the way of writing this is greater than equals to 40, or you can write greater than 39 if you are talking about integers. But the problem with greater than 39 is that 39.9 is also a passed one. So that will not work all the time. This is also passed, which should be a failed one. So we should better stick to greater than equals to 40. Now 39.9 is a failed, okay, and 40 is a passed one, and 40, 40.1, 40.2, 50, 70, 80, 90, everything is a pass. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to make a kind of nested hierarchy, that obviously my percentage would range from 0 to 100. What I'll be doing, and right now I'll be going to introduce you to some other part as well. One thing we'll be going to talk about is nested condition, nesting of condition, and another thing we'll be going to talk about is merging two conditions into one place. So I'll be saying if percent is less than 0 or percent is greater than 100. Okay, I'm not using less than equals to, I'm not using greater than equals to, I'm just simply using less than and greater than. So 100 is a valid thing, 0 is a valid thing, minus 1 is not valid, 101 is not valid. What I want to do right here, if it is the case, then what to do? Print invalid percentage. Okay, no result would be calculated into this, else this whole part. Even result declared is now a part of else block. Okay, otherwise I'll say invalid percentage. So 40, it will be, this block will be false, it will go to else. Inside else, it will go to student pass and then result declared. Okay, if I'll go for 20, student failed, result declared. If I go for 101 or 110 or whatever, something like greater than 100 or less than 0, it'll say me invalid percentage. Now understand the hierarchy, that this print belongs to this if, okay, this print belongs to this else and this if are parallel or at the equal position of each other, and but they both belong to else, just else. So this is the hierarchy we need to maintain all the time. We'll be going to talk about if and else. Right. Now what is the meaning of this or condition? So what we did right now is we have nested if and else. What is the meaning of this or condition? So I want to draw a kind of truth table, if you are aware of what is a truth table all about. So or and add, and these are all logic gates as well. So there is one condition before the or, and there is another condition after the or. Now both the condition will give their output true or false. So right in this case, this condition is false, this condition is true, but still my program is giving this whole thing as a true. Why so? I want to draw a truth table right here. So one thing I'll be going to talk about is or, and not. I hope you are aware of these things when it comes to electron. These are basically electronic gates, nothing else. Okay. So this is my first value, second value right here. So this is just nothing different than a name of the gate, name of the condition merger. This is the first value, this is the second value, and this is the final value. So what I'm saying, if your first value and second value is this and the gate you have used is this, so final value will be this. It is simply like 5, 3 plus will give you 8, minus will give you 2, something like this. So if your first value is true, so I want to draw this particularly for OR gate right now. I drew it actually wrong way. I want to draw it for the OR gate itself right now, not all the gates. So it will be unique for each and every one. So there will be different combination of first value and second value. So first value can be true, second value can also be true. One possibility. Second case would be first value is true, second value is false. Third possibility is first value is false, second value is true. Fourth possibility is both of them are false. Any other possibility you can come with? Is there any other possibility also? If we'll go with the statistical way of counting the number of possibilities, it will be 2 raised to power 2, which is right here, because we are having two variables, first value and second value, right, this one. Okay, and we are having two possible choices for them, true or false. So there will be only 4 possible choices. Now the thing is that what will be the final result. So in the case of or, true is also true, and this you can relate with normal English. I am saying either you are a human or you are an animal. So this condition will be true for all the human beings, and this condition is true for all the animals, right? And if I'll say, if I talk about this true and false, so in this particular condition falls under this part, that either you are a human or you are a animal. So first condition is true if I'll say this to any human, and second condition would be false, but the end result would be true, because that person is either a human or an animal, not both. So this is true. Now if it will be false and true, it will again be true, the same thing, either you are an animal or a human. If it will be false and false, that is the only place where it can turn false. Okay, so if first condition is also false, second condition is also false. This is simply like either you need to be present in the class for 75% or with having 75% or more attendance, or you need to score 95% in your internal exam, then you will be getting the external, then you will be eligible for external exam, something like this. So one of the case, if you will qualify for both of them, your attendance is good, your marks is good, then it means you are definitely like eligible. Or else one of the thing is true for you and another of the thing is false for you, that then again you are eligible for that. And if you fail to qualify for any both of them, then you are not eligible for the exam. Is this thing understood? So in the OR gate or condition merger, we basically result into false when both the conditions are false. So what is this case looks like? Percent is equals to 110, percent less than 0, percent greater than 100. Which particular case this is? First, second, third, or fourth? Just try to think of it.
Can you just come again on that screen?
Yeah. The value of percent is 110. Your condition is if percent is less than 0 or percent is greater than 100. Which condition is this?
I think true and false.
So is that second condition?
Yeah.
This particular one, the one which is ticked.
Yes.
So what about you, Saurav and Tanvi, if you can hear me?
Because your first condition is 0, less than 0. That's a true. Because second condition is greater than 110. Because
Saurav,
we have
what is the output from your side? I hope no one is typing yes.
Okay.
Saurav,
Sir,
switch
show
out.
me screen of
Right here it is.
I think second condition.
Second condition. Okay. So both of you are wrong actually. Not even it is second condition and not even it is first condition. See, the value of percent is 110. So percent less than 0. Is it true or false?
False.
False. That means it is not first condition and not second condition. The value of percentage greater than 100. Is it true or false? This part.
True.
True. That means it will be a false and true. This one. False
third one.
and true. Third one. So the
Third one.
output will be true. Okay. So
Okay.
now your if condition, if block by merging the conditions will return true. That's why it will enter. What if I'll go for -5? Which particular case it will be?
Second, because
Second.
less
Yes.
than.
True and false. Again the output is true. What if I'll go for 25? Which condition it will be?
Then false and true.
It will be false and true. Take it again.
False, false, false condition है ये.
Yeah, it will be false and false. It will be fourth condition, and the output of fourth condition is false. So that means this if condition will be negated, rejected, and the code flow will be passed on to the else block. And inside else block, then we have again another condition which we have actually coded just now. Fine. Now I hope you understand the meaning of OR. So it will work for all the numbers between 0 and 100 inclusive. So 0 and then 1 and then 2 and then 3 and all the way till 100. So it will work for all of them. Now let's talk about AND condition. So instead of OR you can also have AND. Okay, so AND would be, obviously the possibilities will remain the same. True, 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 false, false, true, or false, false. So in the case of AND, what basically happen is I ask you, okay Sanjay, you want to attend the meeting, then you need to wear red color shirt and blue color tie. So if you are wearing both of them, that means you are valid candidate for meeting. If you are wearing red color shirt but not blue color tie, that means you are not valid for meeting. I said you to wear red color shirt and blue color tie. Then if you are not wearing red color shirt but wearing blue color tie, then again you are on false. And if you are not wearing red color shirt and neither even blue color tie, so you are again false. So this is what the AND truth table looks like. This is known as truth table. This particular tabular structure is known as truth table. Okay, even you forget, you can just take the truth table of any gate right here. Truth table for AND. Usually this true and false are represented by 1 and zeros, or true and false as well. So 1 and 0, 0, 1, all the things means the same. Okay, so this is something like AND condition, sorry, OR condition, in which it is true, 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 and when false, false, it will be false. Then this is something like AND condition, when it is true and false, false, false for all others. Okay, anyways, coming back to the thing. Now if I would have written right here AND, then can you tell me for which particular value this will give invalid percentage? Actually, there is no such value in the entire world which can turn this condition to true, because if a number is less than 0, the number can never be greater than 100. Obviously, less than 0 means negative number and greater than 100 means 101, 102 and so on. So this condition can never be true. So this AND is not applicable here, we need to use OR, and AND would be executed some other time. So if I want to use it AND right here, I need to basically say greater than equals to 0 and less than equals to 100. Now AND condition would be valid. Okay, so if it is greater than equals to 0 and less than equals to 100, so instead of invalid percentage, I need to write this complete block. So the whole flow would be disturbed actually. Okay, so I hope it is clear now to you. Now what we have talked about, one thing is if condition,
Yes.
one thing is else block. There is one more thing named as elif block. Elif is a combination of else and if. That how can I achieve? Instead of writing else and then if, I can specify it to be an elif. Elif percentage is greater than 0 and something like this. So now I'll just explain what does it mean. These are three individual blocks. Okay, what does this mean? That if your percentage is less than 0 and greater than 100, then you are saying it is invalid percentage. If this is not true, then else, again if condition, if percentage is greater than 40. So this thing will come into comparison only and only if this thing will not be executed. Okay, otherwise if this would have executed, then this thing will be blocked, this hole will be blocked. So now what is saying? If percentage is greater than 40, then print the student to be a passed student. Else, if else the print then print the student to be a failed student. So if it is less than 0, greater than 100, that means it is an error. If it is inside 0 and 100, including 0 and 100, then we need to check whether the person is pass or fail. So if the student has scored more than 40, the student is passed. Less than 40, the student is failed. Okay, and then let's at the last we are saying result declared. Fair enough. This thing is clear to you? Both of you, is this thing clear?
Here a bit confusion. I'm not able to understand.
Okay, I'll just repeat it again. What I have said is I'll just take another example. Okay, I'll say suppose JEE score to be 112. Okay, and that's for mains. So I'll not be writing mains right here. If I hope you are understanding what is mains and advanced. So JEE score 112. Now the thing is, there is one particular condition for IIT. So we'll be writing something like if JEE score, and there is something like cutoff. So cutoff came out to be suppose 100. So first thing we need to write whether the person is eligible for JEE advanced or not. If JEE score is greater than equals to cutoff, I guess greater than equals to or greater than, don't know about it much, but let's say greater than equals to. Then what to be done? Eligible for advanced examination. I hope you both are clear with what is JEE means and JEE advanced. It's the exam for IITs and NITs in India. Okay. Now next thing what I said is elif. Okay, so elif again with a condition. So what I am saying is if the score is greater than cutoff, then do this. Elif the JEE score is less than cutoff and JEE score is greater than cutoff multiplied by 0.8. So it's simply like 80% of the cutoff. I am just doing it for my particular stuff. Okay. There is no business logic behind it, no UGC, AICT or that IIT, NIT agencies don't do this. So, but I am just making it like this way. So print eligible for re-evaluation. I hope I'm clear with the spelling. So let's just ignore the spelling right now. Else, wait, fail. Now what does this mean? Let's suppose your score turn out to be greater than cutoff, then you are eligible for advanced exam. But your score turn out to be something like 92-93% of cutoff, which is actually greater than 80%, or simply putting 90%. So the required score was 100, your score come out to be 95. Now you want your exam to be re-evaluated, then now you are eligible for re-evaluation. But those people whose, like suppose my score turn out to be 45, so in any case of re-evaluation, it will not be able to turn up to more than 100, right? So then there is no benefit of actually re-evaluation. So I will consider to be a failed student. This is what I have derived. No IIT, no IIT, NIT. I'm not taking any concept from any one of them. So this thing can also be done that your exam cutoff, if your marks are just close to cutoff and you just failed by some a kind of chunk of number, then you can apply for re-evaluation. Those people like if suppose the examination cutoff is 100 and your marks are 45, then there is no sense of basically re-evaluation. No one will give you extra 55 marks by rechecking your examination. 1 or 2 marks or 5 marks a person can think of, but 45 marks, 55 marks, 30 marks, no one will gonna give you. So this is something like what I have came up. Is this thing clear now? If and else?
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Yeah. So now what I'll be going to do is I'll be telling you one particular hidden concept which we have left intentionally. Okay, that's more about data type and all. And then it will be your turn to make a calculator right into this. Okay. So what I'll be going to do is instead of this, I'll be taking the input. I declared the cutoff to be 100. Fair enough. Now instead of JW score to be statically declared, I want to take an input. What is your JEE score? Okay, and simply write here what is cutoff for this year or for that year particularly. And if you are using that, then you should use what was your cutoff for that year and what was your JEE score. So we are just predicting something for the past. Anyhow, like don't put focus on the grammar. Now let's see what going to be happen. I gave my JEE score to be 55. Okay, and I gave my cutoff to be 92. Same, we cannot multiply sequence by non-int of type float and all that ugly error. What does this mean? So it is basically raising an error into this one. So cutoff multiply 0.9 is not valid. I'll tell you the reason. If you'll go and check the type of JEE score and similarly the type of cutoff will turn out to be string actually. No matter whatever value you give, it turn out to be string. That means that whatever you give in your input function, whether it be a number or not a number or whatever, it basically stored in the format of a string always. If you want to convert it into integer, you need to manually do that. And how to do that? We need to typecast that into integer. So JEE score is now integer of JEE score, and similarly cutoff is now integer of cutoff. Okay, or else what can be done? Instead of adding one more line into this for this particular stuff, we can write a typecast function right here. So whatever will come from input will directly be converted into int, typecast into int. Okay, now let's see the things will work or not. So I gave my JEE score to be 65 and the cutoff marks to be 82, and now I'm failed. And if I gave my JEE score to be 97, passing marks to be 101, now I'll be eligible for re-evaluation. If I gave my JEE score to be 50, suppose 236, and I gave the cutoff for the year to be 112, I'm passed, eligible for advanced exam. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now it's your turn to make a calculator which will take a user input from me, like number 1 you will take from the user from me, then you will take number 2 from me, and then you will be basically taking operator, which operator I want to go for, whether I want to go for plus or minus or multiply or divide, and then on the basis of that you will be just making a calculation and displaying the results right there. Suppose you took the number from me, like number 1 is 10, number 2 is 7, and I asked you to do a multiplication, so your answer should be 70. And if I ask you to do the plus, then your answer should be 17 and something like this. Okay, just like a generic calculator you want to make for me. Now you have, it's your time, you have at least like around 15 to 20 minutes. Go for that, make a calculator, develop that, and come back. Then we'll move ahead. So make sure that you are clear with each and every word written into the screen. Flow control the concepts of flow control is basically quite a lot important, and every program, every logic is built over this only. There is no other way of making a program without using if condition, for loop, if condition, else condition, for loop, while loop, or so. You need to use them in one or the other time.
I didn't get your assignment, like what exactly we have to do. I'm
What
bit.
exactly you have to do is you need to make a calculator program. You need to make a calculator.py file. So when I'll execute that file, it should ask me that give input for number 1. Okay. Then it should ask me give input for number 2. Then it should ask me what do I want to do with that number. So if I want to do plus, then it should say me, okay, so suppose number 1 I gave to be 15, number 2 I gave to be 3. So if I want to do plus, it should give me 18. If I want to do minus, it should give me 12. If I want to do multiply, it should give me 45. And if I want to do divide, it should give me 3. Sorry, 5. 3 by 3 is 5. So you need to make a calculator like this to me. Okay, so firstly you need to take number from me, just like I took from JW score and cutoff. Then you also need to take a character from me, the operator actually. And then you need to match on operator. If operator is equals to plus, print number 1 plus number 2. If operator is equal to minus, print number 1 minus number 2. And this is what you need to do basically. Okay. Now go for it. I'll wait. And then we will move on once the things will be sorted. Okay, is this clear to you, Saurav, Sanjay, both of you?
No, I'm very poor in this.
Okay,
If
no worries.
logic.
Okay, see, what are you clear with what you need to make? Like how to make, that is something different. But are you clear with what you need to develop right now?
You said to develop the calculator.
You need to develop a calculator, just a
Yes.
basic calculator program into which you will ask me for inputs. So what do you give, being a user, what do you give to your calculator in your mobile phone? You give the number 1, you give number 2, and you give an operator. Okay, so
Yes.
basically the sequence is number 1, operator, and number 2. So then according to the number 1 and number 2 and operator, you need to give me the result. So your if condition would basically be focused on operators. So you will be writing an if condition on operator, that if operator is equals to plus, print number 1 plus number 2. If operator is equals to minus, print number 1 minus number 2, and so on. Okay, simple mathematics you need to give there.
But initially we have to give two statement, no? Like you said, JE score is equal
Initially, you
to.
need to take 3 inputs from me, number 1, number 2, and operator. Once you'll be having these 3 inputs from me stored in your variables, then you need to apply the if condition on that variable where you are storing your operator. And with if condition, you will need to specify some values, that if this is equals to plus, if this equals to minus, if this equals to multiply, then what to be done, and so on. At least start doing this, you will get an idea, and meanwhile I'll also be going to help you out. So start doing this for now. Okay, write a program which will take 3 things from the user. Okay, Saurav, is this thing clear to you?
Yes, sir. I trying little bit. I
Okay.
have taken two characters, two numbers, and one operator.
Right. That's great. So go for it. Try to execute that. Once done, send me the file right here in the group. I'll be executing it from my side.
Okay.
Yes, Shankar, I'll just listen. Okay, I didn't see that you were even in the class. Welcome.
Now, first three statement you said, like first will be number one is equal to,
Taking input for the number. Then later I want to do.
your voice is not audible.
Wait, can you hear me, Shankar, Sanjay, Saurav, anyone?
Yeah, I'm able to hear now.
So what I was saying is that you need to take three inputs from the user. One is number one, second is number two, and third is operator. If you think till this point, you need to take three inputs from the user. Once taken, then your logic should be pivoting over the operator.
See, like,
I'll help by drawing a flow chart for you. Okay, I'll be helping you. I hope you are able to see my screen. Yes. So I'll again be take. I don't need any more truth table. So into the start of the program, you will be basically taking three inputs. What I'm doing. Okay, so this is first input. Once done, you are taking second input. So I'll just be naming them as A and B. I hope understood as B only. Okay. And then you are taking an input over C. And then you are splitting C into four parts. Okay, right now only 4 plus minus multiply and divide. So this is plus minus multiply right here and divide in the last. So right here you need to give me print me A plus B if this is the case, A minus B and so on. This is basically what you need to execute in your program. Now it will help you out a lot. You are taking number one, number two, and operator. On the operator, you are putting up a condition, and into that condition, you are taking the value out.
Just show the code once, no?
There is some noise. Yeah. Now it is done. Is that done now? That's done. Okay, well, Sanjay, there is a problem that how can you convert C into integer? C is just a character of plus, minus, multiply, divide type of choices. You cannot convert C into integer. Do not convert C, and there is no sense of actually converting into integer. And even the interpreter will not allow you. Don't convert C into integer. Only convert your numbers into an integer one. The C part can remain in string and there will not be any problem. And they say that should remain in the string only.
Okay, here we have to just put input as a C, that's it. Your voice is not clear, Harsh.
Like, I don't know what's wrong with.
It's very low.
Better or not?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay.
So in the C value, we should not
Yes.
use
So
integer.
into C you shouldn't use, and even you cannot use because it cannot be converted into integer. It will
Yeah.
end up raising an error. Nothing else.
This is fine for C.
Yeah, it's fine for C.
Okay, next we have to do if I'm right. If what is that
Yes.
exactly we have to do? F.
So it will be like if C is equals to plus, so you need to write double equals to, as we discussed into operator part. Not
Okay.
single equals. You need to write if C double equals to plus, and plus should be into quotes. Because if
Yeah,
C
that's
double equals to quoted plus,
yeah.
then colon, then next line print A plus B.
Okay.
Others, are you following along? Shankar, Saurav?
Yes.
That's great.
Then what we have to write here for elif, like elif.
Yeah, it's ELIF only. ELIF. All
Yeah.
together without any spaces.
Yeah. What should be the statement here? Like what we are doing here
Yeah, so
in this
then
scenario?
suppose in the first part you have written if C is equals to plus, C double equals to plus, print A plus B, then you need to write elif C double equals to minus, colon, print A minus B, then elif C double equals to multiply, print A multiply B.
Okay. Then in this case, two elif statement will come, no?
Yeah, actually three.
Three,
So
yeah,
your
three for
last else will not be for the remaining divide sign. It should be for that else invalid symbol, something like this. I got some images. Wait. Okay, that's the screenshot you have taken. Fine. All right, Shankar. So what's the progress at your end, Shankar, Saurav?
just show your code once.
Right, it is, and it's already in the screenshot. Shankar sent a screenshot, right? Okay, there is some error. So you might be missing some variable or so.
Oh, first three codes I got it. The fourth one, I'm getting this error.
No, there would be some syntax error. Share me the code screen. Okay, so Sanjay, you can take check the code at the screenshot shared by Shankar right here.
It's not visible like.
Oh, like I guess my screen is on right now.
Can you see my screen, sir?
Wait, I need to check. Not yet. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, I can see the screen.
And I'm using this Jupyter notebook.
Okay.
The first three got, I have put 800 as the score and cutoff 400, so it was given eligible for advanced exam. And the fourth one, I'm not getting it.
Well, so all the if, elif, and one particular block should be in a single cell, right? So if condition, if you have stated in the upper block, then the context had vanished. So what you have written as elif should be merged on the upper block itself.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. I'll try.
Copy paste the code. It will work. Copy paste the code.
It's just showing eligible for advanced exam.
Yeah, because that condition is only true. If that condition will be false, then only it will go to elif.
Okay, sir. Okay. Or suppose if I change
Your JE score to less than a cutoff. Run that again. Run that. Just click on that and run that. Click on the cell where you have written the code input part and run that. Right here mention the JW score. Yeah. Okay, so you have said that if JW score is less than cutoff and JW score is greater than 90% of the cutoff, then only you are eligible for re-evaluation. But your score is only 50%. So you are not even eligible for advanced exam and not even eligible for re-evaluation. Write the code for else as well.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, then it will show up.
Is this correct? This one?
Is equals to input. No, there is an error. If you have you tried to run this?
No.
Then please run that. You will get the error.
Okay.
There are basically the one error at 4 places, and even more than that. Even there are another errors as well. Some logical error and some syntactical error. So the one I said earlier was the syntactical error, and again one error at 4 places in the logical term. Try to run that.
It shows the error at input a is equal to integer, input a double quotes and colon. You can able to see the screen. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you share it. I am not able to see that right now.
Okay. Is it fine?
Yeah. Okay. Open the code.
This is the code.
So how can you write 1, 2, 3, 4 in the starting? Why you have written 1, 2, 3, 4? Like, how come this become the part of the code?
Okay, okay.
And even the space, you cannot mention any space anywhere into Python. Python is very specific for spaces. No, not this. I'm saying your A and B and C and D should be on different lines, but in the root of the line. So just remove, remove the spaces from starting. And all that 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is it correct now? Is it fine?
Yeah, just move all the things to root apart from print command. So if, elif and else should be on the root. Yeah, and print command should be on the 4 spaces itself. All the print command should just be on 4 spaces, just like you are having on print. On if, yeah. Delete the starting space and make it 4 space, equivalent to 4 space.
But you can see this error, no, here in the B.
Okay, just check out your input bracket closing for A. You have closed one bracket, but you have actually opened 2 brackets. Just try to read the error when you get an error. So, okay, just run that now. Now you are at C. So this is the error which I have pointed. So after, just look at my code. What I have done after writing if JW score is less than cutoff or greater than cutoff. Look at my code. What I have written there. The screenshot sent by Shankar at the bottom. Yeah, this one.
Okay.
You need to put columns right here. Yes.
Yeah.
In all the others. Then it will work. Now there is a logical error going on. Syntactically, I guess it is completely true now. Yeah. Give the value of A. Saying A plus B. Why so? Check your code. You
Here
have
it is.
mentioned it into string. You cannot mention into string. String would be not rendered or calculated at all. You need to make it a calculation because these are variables, so you are not supposed to mention them or enclose them into strings.
Okay, got it. Only characters will be in the quotes.
Yes, exactly. Which you want to be printed as it is. Failed would be in the code because you want this to be printed as it is. No other calculation.
Okay.
I just have placed it on mute because I wasn't speaking and there was some noise at my back. So well, yeah, that's working fine. That's great, Shankar. What about you, Sanjay, Saurav? Make it fast, guys, so that we can move on.
Yeah, mine is done. The which you have given, no, it's working
Okay,
fine.
so all of the operators you have checked with.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So your is done. Shankar is also, I guess, done. Saurav, what is your progress? How much? How much weight, Saurav? Sure, then I'll wait for 5 minutes. It's 125 going on right now, and I'll be waiting for 130, and then we will move on. So what is the progress at your side, sir? 5 minutes done. The error is because you have not placed colon right after this. You haven't placed the column, that's what the problem is. Okay, anyhow, so I'll be going for a recall. You can do it later on after the class. That's perfectly fine. That is required at this moment of time. Now I'll be sharing my screen. And I hope it is shared now. We'll be going for a recall. So what all we have discussed about today is we talked about conditions in Python, usage of columns and intended bodies. Then we talked about decision making flows, and we covered this indentation as well, which was previously just skipped because it was no sense of discussing indentation that time. Now coming to loops and iterations and break and continue statements, I want it to be discussed all together in one go, so that's why I'll not be covering it today. It'll go it'll take more than 1 hour to be discussed, to discuss loops, iterations, break, continue, pass, and all that statement. Coming up to recall, we discussed about 3 major components of condition making, which is one is if. Okay, I cannot type right here. I should better use VS Code for that. Okay, so we talked about one particular condition, which is if condition. Then we talked about elif condition. Then we talked about else condition. Else basically without condition, else block I would say. So else doesn't have a condition into it. Then we talked about nested if. We talked about nested if else. Okay, where inside one if we are placing else block, or inside if we are placing another if block, and so on. So we discussed all that nesting as well. So I hope this whole thing is clear to you, and now I'm completely open for all the Q&A, all the queries, all the doubts and all. I'll not be moving ahead because the next part would be surprisingly altogether different and much more required. I don't want it to split into parts and discuss it like half of it right now and half of it later on. I want to discuss that in one go. So we'll be talking about loops and all that in the next class, but I hope it is clear to all of you. Or is there any kind of doubt going on?
Yeah, doubt about elif, in which condition we have to use.
Yeah, so
Because
elif is something, suppose you have 5 tracks, okay, like this. I'll show you right here. If I can go back. Somewhat like this. Now you have 4 tracks, so you implement this in if, okay, this one in elif, this one again in elif, this one again in elif, and into the else you will implement something like a kind of failed block. So else is majorly used for always like majorly for failed blocks. So like invalid output, or not in the valid format, or failed, or something like this. Okay, so you basically, when you have more than one conditions to talk about, then you can use elif. So if this would be executed, if not this, then else, this condition would be executed. If not this, then this condition would be checked. If not this, then this condition would be checked for. And even if not any one of them, then else would be executed. That is for sure. That's why it is not having any condition. So this will be executed if any one of them, if all of them have failed. This is where basically we need to use if and else. Any other doubt apart from that? Sanjay, Shankar, you came late, but what we have just discussed is the syntax of using if and else condition, and I hope you cleared that with this particular program. Okay, so how can we basically use if and else? If and else and elif are basically used to compare between two numbers or string or any sort of given value and the new value. So if our new value or given value is suppose greater than something, then we do implement a logic. If it is less than something, then we do implement some logic. And for that we write if and the given condition like this one, then a colon, then an indentation block which is supposed to be a 4 spaces, which is the community guidelines, but you can make it even 1 space or 5 space or 10 space, that will work, but you need to be consistent on that particular number. So if you're using 2 space, use it like for 2 space throughout the program. Then we talked about the body of the program. Okay, so what will be the scope of if, what will be the scope of elif, what will be the scope of else. This is what basically we have discussed. Right, so then we'll be talking about loops, but I hope that you will be practicing this whole thing at your home on different scenarios. Like you can implement a basic like students pass or fail, or how many books you have with you. So whether you are whether you are a good reader or not. Okay, or another condition could be that how much you eat daily. So whether you will gain some weight or lose some weight or type of that, or something like what is your height and weight. So whether you are a kind of whether your body mass index is good or low or high, and all that thing you can implement with basic if and else. So I want you to at least come up with 3-4 if else practicing, and then still if you will be having any doubt, you can ask me anytime. And once you will be clear with if else, I hope you will be clear with if else in this intermediate part, and in the next class we will be diving up for the looping and iteration. Fine. See you in the next class. Then if you'll be having any doubt, you can let me know. So the class is going down a bit more earlier than it used to be, but yeah, there is no sense of actually pulling it off. We discussed the theory, we discussed the mechanism, we discussed it, and we put the hands on. And now we are ready to practice, which you will need to do at your end, and I'll be ready to solve all of your queries. See you then in the next class. Take care. Bye bye. Have a great day. All of you have a safe and great day. Bye bye.